Welcome. Yes, it is. Hey everybody, we are back with Final Fantasy VI again. Who saw that coming? I should have got a mod to replace every mention of Square Enix in this with Squaresoft. Just a nicer logo and more like nostalgic. Get out of here with your Final Fantasy VII, you. How you doing, Clem? I bought the Pixel remasters of 3, 5, and 6 a while back. And I've been kind of wanting to do something with them. I'm also very excited. As in the title, this is a modded version of the Pixel Remaster. I forget exactly all the mods that we have on this. I modded it a while ago, and then just let it sit. One thing I will say is, I haven't modded the soundtrack at all, because I'm kind of curious. What I've heard of this new arrangement of the soundtrack, I thought was pretty good. But stuff like the font is modded, and it's a much nicer font than the game comes with standard. Character sprites are modded. There's a bunch of stuff. The interface is modded. Oh yeah, Final Fantasy VI's soundtrack. We went over this when we did it together. 6's soundtrack is fantastic. And like, it's the first time Remaster knocked it out of the park with everything. So you might be like, Chrono, why are we doing Final Fantasy VI? And I finished Spider-Man on Friday. And I've not really been sure like what to jump into after that. I don't know, why are we doing Final Fantasy VI? I finished Spider-Man on Friday, and I've not really been sure of what to jump into after that. Because of course we only have about a week. We have like 8 days until May, when we begin Star Wars month. And so I had the crazy idea about 20 minutes ago of, like, what if we just grab an RPG and try and bust through it in a week? For a couple of reasons. One reason being, like, I've been very kind of lax with streaming lately, and it is frustrating to me. It's largely because of my schedule just being all over the place. My schedule for work this week has me on 4 open shifts. So it's stable, it's a stable shift pattern this week. Just like, okay, I can do those, and we'll be able to like do some streaming stuff. And I want to see about pushing myself to do something that I used to do somewhat often anyway. Which is stream regularly for extended periods. So the idea with this is we're going to go through an RPG and stream every day until we finish this RPG, with the aim of finishing it before the end of next Sunday. So you can call this like the week of Final Fantasy VI. And like, I was debating, like, what do? We need an RPG that's not 100 hours long, that isn't excessive with its grinding. So like, what do? Chrono Trigger was my first thought. I could knock Chrono Trigger out pretty quickly. But like, Klim's going to be doing Chrono Trigger soon, and I know there are regulars who may not be able to get into these streams who will want to see Chrono Triggers. I've been talking about doing Chrono Trigger for a while anyway, so like, that'll be like a proper stream of its own. I debate Paper Mario, which, in all honesty, was mostly for the idea of just using the N64 controller I got. That's why I pushed Paper Mario up on the schedule, so I could use that N64 controller for it. This rendition of Prelude is absolutely beautiful. I love it. And then, just before I started streaming, I was like, what about Final Fantasy VII? And like, okay, what do I do with Final Fantasy VII? We've got the new threat mod that we're going to hold on to, and we're going to run through that with Klim. And I was like, what about the new threat mod rebalancing changes, but with the vanilla story? And I was like, But then we'll also end up showing off a lot of the mods that we've got ready for that before we do it with Klim. And like, I want everybody to be kind of really impressed with how that looks and sounds and plays and everything. Plus, Teak is also going through 7 at the minute anyway. So, we're going with 6. We'll do Final Fantasy 6. You want an example of a mod that you wouldn't think about? These button icons are a mod. Like, actually using the proper Xbox One controller buttons, or Xbox Series controller buttons, that's a mod. In a lot of ways, the Pixel Remaster is very disappointing, honestly. Visually, the fact that it opens with a now loading screen is kind of off-putting, I feel. What is originally a Super Nintendo game. Like, the original font it uses for everything isn't particularly nice to look at. The general presentation of it. The only thing that I think is actually good, presentation-wise, about the Pixel Remasters is the new arrangements of the soundtracks. And there are mods we can get to replace this with other rearrangements of the soundtracks, but I didn't get any of those. We're playing this with the soundtrack the Pixel Remaster comes with. So let's get started. We got like 2 hours we can just spend. With any luck, we can get through to the rat sequence. It's... FF6's soundtrack is really good. So you might be also like, but Chrono, you said you've got the Pixel Remasters of 3 and 5. Why didn't you do one of those? And the real answer for that is, I don't know if I can knock those out in a week. Particularly because of the grinding those games require. FF6, in comparison, is a lot more relaxed about it. So, of course, we've got the modded interface, which looks quite nice. There's always the thing of, like, yes, we'd love to go with the classic blue, but this is also just, like, a nice redesigned interface. We also have, you may notice, a different sprite for Terra. And that's going to be true of, like, a lot of the major characters of this game. I have a mod that replaces a lot of the character sprites with their equivalents from Final Fantasy Record Keeper, which was a mobile gacha game. Well, that was interesting. Government test order. This is a test of the emergency systems. It's also fucked up when stream looks on the phone. There we go. I heard they were planning that, and we've never had anything like that in this country, to my knowledge. I know, like, a bunch of other countries do. I know the US has an emergency test alert system for stuff like natural disasters and such. And it's weird and off-putting. And I get the purpose of it is to catch your eye, but also, I could have been at work at this time. Never seen it used in actual emergency, yeah. So let's talk about this sequence, which... in the original, this is an impressive use of the Mode 7. Final Fantasy VI is one of the best looking games Square put out on the Super Nintendo. But it's also the opening credits sequence. In this, it's clearly not Mode 7, it's trying to replicate it, but everything's a little too smooth for it. And beyond that, the credits aren't playing here. So it begs the question of, like, what's the actual point of this? Two witches a stolen child, yeah. And you're like, oh shit, they're onto me. And you have to go into the basement and, like, put them in the sub-basement. There's a few things this the Pixel Remaster does, which, like, in the original, they were technical standouts and were very impressive to see, but also generally had some kind of purpose, like there, the credit sequence. But here, it's like, they're there because they were there in the original. We've removed all of the point of them. Very nice. There's a mini-map. Okay, so the minimap is under me. And you know what? I don't have a thing. Let me tab out of this real quick. Let me turn these off. You know what? I like the look of that. It looks really nice. It doesn't seem to stand out very much. It looks like it's an actual picture of the pixel art of the town. It's not been redrawn or anything, it's actually the pixel art of the town. With like a sepia tone over it. It looks nice, I like it. For the sake of this, we're going to turn it off. I'm not moving everything on my stream around again. I'd like to turn off that control prompt at the bottom. Oh, there we go, excellent. I have 8 directional movement, and it's weird. Switching characters. I feel like whenever I hear... Can I not? Oh yeah, you can't target your party members with the Magitech. I feel like whenever I hear re-renditions of stuff like this, and the same was kind of true when Teak did his FF7 stream with the music mod earlier this week, I feel like they have a tendency to lean a little too heavily on the brass. Everything sounds good except for that overabundance of, like, just the toot is like, it's like, might be a little much there, Frank. You want to tell Jonathan to calm it down with that trumpet? Classic Frank. Am I going to play this with the analog stick or the D-pad? Ah, yes. The fart spray. So the widescreen of this is nice, I guess. They've redrawn a bunch of it. These backgrounds, I feel like these are new backgrounds. I would absolutely have to go back and look at the original. I know there was a city background for this area during battles. I don't think it looked like this. I think this is actually a new background. But the widescreen is nice. I saw a complaint that they don't do a whole lot with the widescreen and everyone's kind of like really clustered in. And I can kind of agree with that. Like, you look at how much empty space there is on the sides of the battlefield. Because everyone's just kind of clustered in the center. So you might be asking, like, Chrono, why did you kill your other two party members? And the answer to that is because in this game, experience is shared amongst the party. In regular battles, it's fine, it's not really an issue. Chrono, why did you kill your other two party members? In the game, let me get that heal off real quick. Yeah, this opening sequence, those two characters never come back. You only have them for this opening. Having them take experience is a waste of the experience. So you can have Terra gain extra experience here, get her a little higher leveled. Not much, just a little bit. It's honestly not super worth doing. Like, if you're worried about struggling with it, don't feel like you have to go out of your way to do it, like, oh, the game's going to be super difficult to do without it. But, like, if you do it, you've got to be very careful about your health. Is it just going to turn on the auto map every time I enter a new area? But the real key to doing this, though, is to just get a game over and then, like, leave. That was just horrible luck. I'm gonna give this game extra points for having an autosave. Alright, first off, can I stop that map from just reappearing all the time? This kind of thing is why I don't like CRT filters. It's like, oh, standard, or CRT filter to look classic. And it's like, it doesn't really help anything. That minimap is going to reappear in every new area though, isn't it? you kidding me? That'd be a party wipe regardless. Like double snowstorm, and snowstorm hits everybody. That would be a party wipe. That's a fucking party wipe. Yeah, basically. Is this what we're doing now? That was honestly ridiculous. You know what? I'm absolutely gonna appreciate this has autosave. Thank you, Clem. Anyway, as I was trying to say... Alright, we should be here when you get back, Clem. Yeah, we got time. The real key to actually doing this... with a single person in your party at the start here is Bioblast. Because Bioblast very specifically will hit the an entire enemy group. It's not as useful in these mines if you come across enemies in the mines, because the standard enemy in the mines here are rats, the were-rats, and they are immune to poison. But for everything else, it's the best way to do it with a single character. Hit it! Oh, that's some good synth. It's a lightning whelp. This is the introduction to the active time battle system of the game. Ooh, surprise violins. What are you two doing alive again? Megavolt only hits one character now? No, it hits two when they're in the when it's in the shell. Alright. It doesn't say I can't escape. Alright, so Terra has been slowed. It's a weird idea to have an enemy that can slow any party member this early in the game. Especially, let me make sure the camera doesn't go blurry. I always forget to do this. It should be just set up normally. I have to reset it every time. So, this is the introduction to the active battle system, the active time battle system, the ATB, and how the game teaches you about its existence. It comes up on a number of bosses during the game. It's interesting that this version of the game starts you on wait rather than active because of that. Excellent. The pixelization dissolved of the enemy there. I don't think I think I prefer the original way it worked. Where it's just like they turn red and like fade away slowly while the sprite shakes. I don't know. It's a nitpick thing. I just feel like it would have been a good idea to have those two characters come back in some sense later in the game. Like, if you saw where they were sent to. Because the idea is supposed to be like they're X-zoned or vanished. My head hurts. Mysterious young woman born with the gift of magic and enslaved by the Stalian Empire. I have to actually type. Okay, so you press any button and the dialogue will progress. You know, I think about it now, and I should have called Lock Clim. That would have been the funnier joke. Or just, like, name every character some variation of Clim. Like, Terra is Clim, Locke is Climothy, Edgar's like Klimdo. Your Final Fantasy VIII? That's good work, Clem. Too excited and pressed the wrong button. Excellent. This is something I appreciate about like every version of FF6 post the original release. Being able to run without equipping sprint shoes. Okay, relics are just listed on equipment, which that might be good or bad. Shows you every location already on the map, which I don't know how I feel about that. 7 and 8 did that as well. The interesting thing though is like it shows you the chests and items you can pick up in each area. Yeah, the standard sprite you get with this game is like a very standard Terra sprite. I think the sprite work for all of the remasters, especially considering the extra details they're putting everywhere else, is really disappointing. I mean, look at the smoke on the chimneys. And like, it's pixel smoke, but they've added so many frames to that animation. It's so smooth, it's really nice. And then the character sprites are just normal. Could be the last random time, yeah. But the, I say the character sprites we've got. The game has beaten me. It's gonna bring up the minimap in every area, and they're nice minimaps, but I played this game enough times without them that it means nothing to me. I can play it without them. But the fact there isn't an option to just, like, not have it. To not have them pop up every time you enter a new area. Frustrating. Fun and music, really not good. Yeah. How you doing, Flame? The music we're going to experience as it comes, but like the font and everything, yeah, absolutely. We discussed it on the Discord. But yeah, the sprites we have for like every main character and a bunch of the minor characters are specifically taken from Final Fantasy Record Keeper, which was a mobile gacha game that was shut down. It doesn't exist anymore. You can't play it anymore. And Teak, friend of the stream, Teak the Gamer, hallowed be his name, will let you know about his disappointment if you ever ask him about that, because he enjoyed that game. But the sprites for what is it? The sprites for Record Keeper. The sprites for Record Keeper are really nice sprites. Like this is a nice Terra sprite. Though this Terra sprite is also slightly modified, because the Terra sprite from Record Keeper follows the Amano artwork rather than the in-game sprite. Gone a few times streaming, yeah. Zeke really enjoyed Record Keeper. Yeah, like the Record Keeper Terra sprite has the blonde hair and such. Well, I always like the green hair idea. Probably because it's what she has in the actual game. Like when we eventually get to doing Duodecim, Dissidia Duodecim, it's going to disappoint me that we can't have alternate costumes in the story mode, because you play as a mono artwork Terra. But there is a costume that recolours her to match her original outfit, original colour. I didn't play much of Record Keeper. I was never into gacha games. What's this stream, Nightlight? FF6 is a good one to have as your favourite. See, I was just saying the Terra sprite and like all the major character sprites are part of a mod, which takes them from Final Fantasy Record Keeper, which was a gacha game for mobile, which doesn't exist anymore. And it looks so much nicer than the standard sprites this game has. I feel like they really should have done more with them for the remaster. It's weird the areas that have actual visible effort in redesigning and improving the visuals for, or just like improving the presentation for, and then the areas where it absolutely doesn't. They changed it so that the generals lift both arms. In the original game, don't they all just lift their right arms? Like, up and down, up and down? But yeah, it's kind of a muted red dress with the blonde hair for Terra, yeah. But in Duodecim, there's an alternate costume that has like a brighter red with the green hair from the game, and it looks way nicer. Black's theme's great in this game. Yeah, if you've never seen them, Nightlight, I recommend looking up the sprite list from Record Keeper, because they redid the sprites for the first 6 Final Fantasy games and made original sprites for the characters from 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and maybe 14. Like, there were a lot of really nice sprite designs there. Yeah, because he has the bandana in the artwork, because the character portraits are based on the amount of artwork. Which has always been kind of a point of contention for me with 5 and 6. It's always been a point of contention for me with 5 and 6, because the actual character sprites look very different to the Amano portraits. And it's kind of especially bad in the GBA versions, where every main character that speaks has their portrait pop up. And they look so different to like the actual in-game sprites. Like Galuf. Galuf's one of the best examples in 5. And his Amano artwork, he's very thin, kind of gaunt in face with a mustache. And he's got the grey hair and the grey mustache. But his in-game character sprite very much emphasises a beard. A big brown beard. And it's his defining trait when dressed in the job outfits that he just has the beard, but it's absolutely not part of his Amano artwork. The original Amano artwork is good stuff. Ah, the Moogle from Final Fantasy VI, or Final Fantasy III. The cover of Final Fantasy III is probably better than it had any right to be based on the covers of FF1 and especially FF2. Right, so first thing you want to do is steal Mog's equipment. Because then you can give that Mithril Spear to Edward, and he has a nice little boost when you get him. Right, it's just... Yeah, you steal Mog's stuff, and you can throw the shield, but especially the spear on Edward. Not Edward, Edgar. What am I thinking of? Who the hell's Edward? Am I thinking of 4? I don't want to think about Final Fantasy 4. This doesn't seem right. Yeah, we know about, like, taking the stuff off Mog. Is this a glitch? Is the game screwing me over again? Yeah, so most of these Moogles are dead now. Take them down, boys. Yeah, for the most part, Edgar's best off used, like, just spam his tools. But early on, it's still not a bad idea to have the Mithril Spear for him. Welcome back, Clint. Awesome. No deaths. Except for those 2 deaths. Thanks, Moogles. Bye. So, with the Pixel remasters, there's the somewhat contentious problem. Like, aside from all the other things you can actually complain about with the Pixel remasters, there's the thing with the Pixel remasters that none of them come with any extra content from any of the later re-releases. We've saved Clem. Oh, Clem will have a bone to pick with you there, Nightlight. Yeah, like, it lacks all of the... Yeah, that's fine. All the Pixel remasters lack all of the extra content from any of the re-releases. So, like, the bonus dungeons in FF1, the Dawn of Souls campaign in FF2. Get a feel of that saxophone. Like the Lunar Subterrane with FF4. and stuff like what was it in FF6? The Soul Shrine and the Dragon's Den. Like those aren't in any of the Pixel remasters. Why are you blocking the door? Good. And like the loss of the Dawn of Souls campaign, I think, is the only legitimate boss. I mean, I say that, but like some of the extra stuff in FF5 is kind of disappointing to lose. Some of the extra clubs and stuff, but it's not a huge deal. Loss of the Dragon's Den and Soul Shrine in FF6 is absolutely not a problem, because they are both garbage. Yeah, Kefka's a fun villain. An interesting villain. And though we didn't get to finish the critical discussion, Clem and I did spend a lot of time talking about the specific pros and cons of Kefka and why he's popular, and why Clem absolutely despises him. On those legs. Oh yeah, the part of the Record Keeper sprite mod as well is also the character portraits. Have been modified to match as well. Yeah, we did bring up the whole thing, like, in Japan, Kefka is not particularly popular. Like, Sephiroth is far more popular than Kefka in Japan, and a lot of the popularity that Kefka has comes specifically from Ted Woolsey's localization, which added a lot of personality to Kefka. Who is this guy? The young king of Figaro Castle, imperial ally and champion of the technological revolution. He likes more the depth and motivation of characters such as Garland. But Clem is a big fan of Final Fantasy IX, Clem. Ah yes, Chance in his womanizing ways. That's the Garland you meant, isn't it, Flame? Well, there's the Garland that will knock you all down. But yeah, in the original Japanese version, Kefka is a lot more uninteresting, is probably the best way to put it. The Joker comparison is always problematic because it's always the comparison that's going to pop up again. Ah yes, Judy Garland, the true villain of Final Fantasy 1. It's always going to pop up because, oh yeah, crazy clown villain. But I feel like they're different enough. The Joker absolutely depends on like the specific writer, the time period, the adaptation, the actor. Like, Joker is very hit or miss. Yeah. Dad's has a twin brother, you know. Oh, I like this. Johnson, his twin brother, Eknach. That was a joke, actually. Just typing in chants backwards, but saying it out loud is actually really funny. And I'm very tempted to just stick with it. Let's do it. Chance and his twin brother, Eknach. Yes, Eknach. I was gonna put it down as in trance because Chance's Twitch name is Trance in Trance. It's Chance in Trance now. I was gonna put it as like in trance, so it's Chance and in trance. But Eknach is just funny as fuck. Yeah, Edgar. Later on, Edgar's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna rearrange the letters of my name, and it's his fake name. But it's also like that is something you'll only notice if you've kept Edgar's name as Edgar. Saber or Tifa. I mean, Tifa's got the dolphin blow, but Edgar suplexes trains. We're gonna get to the end of the game, and I'm gonna have Sabin in the party because of course I am. Because you absolutely know Sabin is one of my mains in the party. And it's gonna be like, we'll get to it, and then, oh yeah, and Eknach. Sabin can use the Hadouken, but Oribol I always felt was like not a very good ability. And when I'm using Sabin's blitzes, for the most part it's pummel until we get Flame Dance or Fire Dance, I can't remember which one to call it. Mix of every Street Fighter character, especially T-Hawk. But you can really feel that when Sabin starts yelling Psycho Crusher. It is an interesting question though, Nightlight. A lot of the real value I feel with Tifa as a martial artist comes from like Duodecim and FF7 Remake. because she's fast, she's agile, she hits hard there. And we've not really had that kind of demonstration with Sabin. But Sabin can also hold up a house. Honda's Palm Strike, use Hadoukens, and use Atomic Buster! How do you like my castle? Yeah, it's alright. More like a wrestler than a martial artist. Yeah, I can understand that. Which is why he is absolutely cooler. Man, if there's one fighting game move that's absolutely ridiculous, but I absolutely love, it's Zangief's Super Atomic Buster, where it's like the three Atomic Busters in a row, but they escalate as they go, and it's just absurd, ending in a pile driver. Gonna throw you around like a ragdoll, yeah. They do make a point of him being kind of a musclehead. I'm not sure about the face for this Kefka sprite. I do like this introduction for Kefka, though. Like the proper introduction, that he's just so petty. But yeah, just... there's sand on my boots. You're in a desert, fuck nugget. Yeah, there's a lot more white, and not really any red. Yeah, the actual coloration of it looks nice. It's the colour balance versus what we used to, like the fact that there's so much white to the face. Whereas the original had a bunch more red to it, but this sprite doesn't seem to have any red on the face. I'm quite liking this rendition of Kefka's theme. Oh, Chance, you and your womanizing ways. What's gonna happen if Chance walks in on one of these streams while I'm saying that? Alright, let's go to the room. Walk faster, Teak. Yeah, the purple mixed in with the royal blue. I'm not sure about the purple shirt that Sabin's wearing. Like, these are all nice sprites. And like, even if the coloration isn't entirely to my tastes, the sprite work itself is. Is it true you're a thief? I'm a treasure hunter. Then again, I'll rip your lungs out. It's interesting going back to these Super Nintendo era JRPGs from like even PlayStation era and seeing how much faster they move. Am I gonna name Shadow the Ninja as Ninja? I guess we'll find out. Is there a smoking hot woman just walks in my castle? Because I smell fire. Yeah, it's crazy how long the Pixel remasters took to come to console. Enjoy the barbecue! Oh, hey, Lino. Gefka, I'm gonna need you to make like a tree. Fuck off. How you doing, Lino? Fire! Get her ready. Put Klim in her nicest dress. And doing my best, you know. Pushing myself to do a little more streaming. So the aim is to stream every day until this game is done. With the hopes that we'll have it done before May 1st. Yeah. Weevil, Underwood, and Rex Raptor as Beavis and Butthead. Yeah. Like, there's no way that line there wasn't a Beavis and Butthead reference. Thank you, Lena. I hope so. Man, I haven't seen Yu-Gi-Oh! Atclim has 27. Man, I haven't seen Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged in years. The biggest middle finger in the most epic way. Hey, Kafka. See you later, fuckers. So, is this going to be Son of a Submariner or Son of a Sandworm? That's the glory of Figaro! Tika's mentally recovered from Sonic Adventure 2. Alright, we'll be here when you get back, Lena. Yeah, we should be here when you get back. Man, these chocobos are just lazing about. I feel like Magitech armor shouldn't be able to catch up to a chocobo. Hit it! And there we go. Gotta do this early to get this conversation. It's really something, huh? It's possible to completely not get this cutscene. I think if you get through the South Figaro Cave before having Terra cast magic in front of Edgar, this conversation doesn't come up. I'm glad to see, though, with Teak doing Sonic Adventure 2, I'm really glad to see that it wasn't just me who had the major issue with it. I feel like I spent like an hour and a half fighting BioLizard when I streamed it. Really nice of him just being like sitting there. Oh yeah, she used fire magic to kill my comrade. What should I do now? Yeah, I think one of the things that makes stories like this really work is levity. Moments of levity. Because you can have your dark storylines, but they're always made more effective by suitable moments of levity. Because it's what defines, like, humanity. Pessimist or not, will always try to find, like, the bright spots. Bravo, Figaro! Up yours, Kafka! It's the lack of red on the face, that's what it is. Instead of a sandworm. I don't think you know how to ride a chocobo. Also, maybe take your hands off its eyes. Honestly, though, like, you talk about the darkness of the game storyline, the second half of the game is all about finding that levity, the hope, the reason to keep going. And it's that kind of thing that really helps elevate it above stuff like, say, The Walking Dead, which is just always poor. And the moments of levity are so few and far between. Should this have still been mode 7? Alright, let's do this. Through the cave and eastward towards South Figaro. Oh, see ya. Yeah, it's like I said, I feel like Chocobos should be able to outrun Magitech armor. But it's also like the only time that it comes up, so we can easily forgive it. Probably. Fine, don't worry about it. I remember the first time I played this, and, like, the feeling that Edgar's tools, there had to be a catch to them. Because, like, you get Edgar, and it's like, oh yeah, auto crossbow will hit everything for more damage than most of your characters can do anyway, at this point. But there's no cost to it, it's not an MP thing, it's not like you have limited bolts. Just keep pressing it. And it's kind of crazy. This is just a thing the game has. Back attack. Let's get a look at the Mithril Spear. Good weapon. But again, even with that, it brings up the point of, like, auto crossbow is just better than anything else you've got right now. It's kind of crazy. This is really nice. This is a really nice rendition. Ah, Shadow's theme. Why Ninja's theme would have a banjo. It sounds like it's supposed to be like a Western thing. Like a Sergio Leone composed theme. Apparently all dogs are Doberman. Oh, now I've got to figure out who do I name Shadow. That's probably fine. He'd kill his own best friend for the right price. He'd slit his mama's throat for a nickel. This theme sounds mostly the same as the original, though. Is it worth getting some equipment? How much cash do I have? Actually, a point. What relics do we have? What times his back to the thing? Sprint shoes double your walking speed, but in any version of the game that just natively lets you run like this, they double your walking speed to running, and they double your running speed to too goddamn fast. Now, we'll come back to this. We should check the other equipment first. He won't bark anymore since we got Shadow's name. Get out of the way, I need to collect rings. I have to get this side to the old man because some of us have jobs. Yeah, cool, my job is being king. You're going to the dungeon. Star pen, we should be fine. Honestly, I don't think any of it comes up until the first Ultros fight, where Ultros loves to throw darkness on everybody. Let's start with weapons. Weapons and equipment. One thing to absolutely fall in love with these pixel remasters, though, and just the general concept of what these pixel remasters should be, is quality of life features in stuff like buying and equipping new items. Like the fact that it just shows the stats at the bottom as well, so I can quickly compare them like this. It's crazy how many games didn't do that kind of thing. First encounter. When we did this with the critical discussion with Clem, like we had a lot of trouble with that first Ultros encounter for some reason. And it's usually not that bad. A Machinist, a Magitech Elite, and an Adventurer. What items do we have? Shitstorm can be good, oh shit, yeah. Really? The big trouble is just protecting Bannon. Let's get some Phoenix Downs. Because, like, Bannon goes down, that's it, that's your game over. You don't even get a chance to revive him. It's in the best. Oh, it just outright tells you now, alright. I feel like the actual encounters are RNG. Like what enemies will do during encounters, RNG. I think the encounters on the raft are always set. Like where they'll appear, what will appear, and so on and so forth. And like on what specific pathway. We'll go through here later, it's not worth doing now and then coming back. Honestly, I sit down and play games like this, and it's like... It makes me realise how much I miss just playing RPGs. Stole the town because he was bored. Didn't even need the money, he was the richest man in town. No, I'm pretty sure, like, the encounters are set. But I could be wrong, like, don't just take my word for that. Ultimately, I will never know this game as well as I know FF7. You heard him, take his word for it or he'll beat you. Alright, let's head up to Duncan's place. Yeah, fun fact, this game was not... We have to find... this game wasn't released in Europe until the PlayStation version. We didn't get this on Super Nintendo. Weird. We didn't get a lot of Square games, like we didn't get We got Final Fantasy, technically. First game released in Europe as Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy VII. Before that, we got Final Fantasy Adventure on Game Boy, which is the first Seiken Densetsu game. It's the first Mana game. Thanks, Flame. But yeah, we got Final Fantasy Adventure, but it was released as Mystic Quest. We got Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, it was released as Mystic Quest Legend. So we didn't get 6. There's a lot of Square stuff we didn't get back in the day. We didn't get Final Fantasy 1, we didn't get Final Fantasy 4, we didn't get Final Fantasy 6. We got 7. We didn't get Final Fantasy Tactics. We didn't get Parasite Eve. Parasite Eve has never been officially released in this country. I don't think Einhander was released in this country. I don't think Bushido Blade was. We didn't get a Super Mario RPG, which has always been weird to me. Like, there's a lot of stuff we didn't get, and even later on, there's a lot of stuff that we got so much later than the US. Like, Final Fantasy X, we got Final Fantasy X, but it took so long for us to get Final Fantasy X that by the time it came out over here, the international version had already come out in Japan. Which is why the European version of Final Fantasy X on PS2 is the international version. And we get all the stuff like Penance, the Dark Aeons, the Expert Sphere Grid, all that stuff. Whereas America didn't get that until the HD remaster. It's kind of crazy. We got Parasite Eve 2. Like, even on PSN. Like, we got Parasite Eve 2, we didn't get the first Parasite Eve. We did eventually get Final Fantasy Tactics on PSP. The War Alliance version. Chrono Trigger, though. You want to talk about ridiculous releases? We didn't get Chrono Trigger until it was released on DS. For some reason. Like, it came out in the US on Super Nintendo, we didn't get that. It came out on PlayStation on the Final Fantasy Chronicles collection, which was Final Fantasy IV and Chrono Trigger. When that came out in Europe, we didn't get Chrono Trigger. That came out as Final Fantasy Anthology, and that was 4 and 5. But Final Fantasy Anthology in the US is Final Fantasy 5 and 6. So remember, like, oh, but you said you got Final Fantasy 6 on PlayStation. But yeah, we got Final Fantasy 6 on PlayStation on its own. It wasn't bundled with another game. It was bundled with a demo for Final Fantasy X, though, for some reason. We did get Origins, yeah. 1 and 2. I have them. I have all the PlayStation Final Fantasy games released in this country, physically. The only Final Fantasy related title I don't have like that is Chocobo Racing. Lino comes in to redeem no swearing as I'm talking about how release dates of classic RPGs, because of course he does. What is that? That is about 21 minutes, so we've got until 26. Well, every future remake, every future re-release of Final Fantasy 1, with the exception of Pixel Remaster, is based on the WonderSwan Color version and its artwork. Thank you, Lena. Like, even when you get to the PSP version, it's still based on the artwork, the sprite designs from Final Fantasy on WonderSwan. And like, it's the thing. I've got Final Fantasy. I bought the Pixel Remasters for 3, 5, and 6. And you might be like, oh, but why didn't you buy the Pixel Remasters for 1, 2, and 4? And it's like, I don't like 2. I'm on record as not liking 4. I like 1. 1, I think, has a lot of charm. The simplicity of it can be a lot of fun to play through again. But I think the best version of Final Fantasy 1 is the PSP version. I don't think there's any real competition to that. It looks great, it sounds great. I'm sure I missed a door somewhere. This is that chest I didn't get. Magic system following D&D rules only applies to the original release, specifically in the West, because I don't know about the WonderSwan Color version. But in the West, it only applies to the original NES release and the Origins release if you play it on normal mode. If you play it on easy mode in every release after that, the magic system is the MP system from later Final Fantasy games. I didn't miss a door, I'm sure I didn't. But FF1's original balancing is also based around the very limited castings of magic. So... in the GBA version, when they just... in the PS1 and the GBA version, when they switched it to MP, they've rearranged a bunch of weaknesses, like Lich isn't weak to fire anymore, because you can just spam fire. So Lich is arguably kind of harder because of that. Plus Lich comes actually kind of early. Yeah, the NES version is just a buggy mess. It's one of those things, like, if you have any option of playing Final Fantasy 1, you shouldn't play the original version. And it's the same with Pokemon. It's like, oh, you might have nostalgia for Gen 1, but unless you are willing to put up with a lot of the really bad design and bugs and glitches and such, you should play, like, any other version of Final Fantasy 1. And, like, Pokemon. Any other version of Pokemon. Like, Fire Red and Leaf Green are still the best ways to play Gen 1. It's interesting that the attack animation for Auto Crossbow feels slower in this than the original. Alright, let's just go and fight Vargas. Yeah, the PSP version, I think, is the best version of FF1 to play. FF2, if I was going to play it again, it would be the PSP version. Was it Origins? Because that was my first experience as well. Yeah, like the PSP version of 2, or like, if you can just get it for a reasonable price, the Dawn of Swords collection on GBA, because it comes with 1 and 2, and all the extra content. The final version, ooh. Excellent, thank you, Lena. I feel like you should probably save that for times when I'm really stressed, because I feel like every time you do it, I don't really have much trouble dealing with it. So I feel like you're always wasting your points when you do it. I always feel bad about that. Yeah, with FF2, it's like, again, PSP version, the definitive version. With 3, the problem with FF3, and the reason why I got it on the Pixel Remaster, is because there's the 3D version you can get, although the Steam version, that is just a really bad mobile port. you are better off emulating the PSP version. But if you want to play the original 2D version, your only option for that is... Oh no. It's fine, we've got Poisoner. If you want to play the 2D version of it, your only option for it is the NES version, the Famicom version that wasn't released outside Japan. So having the pixel remaster of that is just really nice to have. Or, again, I think the definitive version of 4 is the PSP version, which also comes with the After Years. The After Years and Interlude, if you want to play those. I wouldn't recommend it, but they're there. Plus all the bonus content and stuff. Nah, it sent you. Yeah, you're running it probably bought FF6 unknowingly. Five's kind of interesting. Because, like, the only official release of it that was worth playing until the Pixel Remaster, the only official release of it in the West that was worth playing until the Pixel Remaster was the GBA version. But the GBA version had its own problems. Like, there's the screen resolution if you play it on anything with a screen bigger than GBA. There's the sound quality of it, yada yada. There's the mobile port, which looks terrible. There's the PlayStation port, which has an absolutely god-awful translation. One of the worst. You can get ROM hacks for the Super Nintendo version, but that's not everyone's cup of tea, and not everybody's able to do it, and everybody's willing to do it. So the simplest, cleanest way to play FF5 today is the Pixel Remaster. FF6 is an interesting thing because there are no definitive releases. There is no definitive release of FF6. Every version has something over the other versions. Yeah, every version of FF6 has something over the other. The original Super Nintendo version has, like, the best soundtrack. Like, we take out the Pixel Remaster. Take that out of the equation. The Super Nintendo version has the best soundtrack. The PlayStation version has a more refined localization. It's still the localization from the Super Nintendo version, so it still has all the fun quirks and everything that everybody loves. But it's more refined, so, like, instead of Bix, it's Bigs, and stuff like that. The PlayStation version also has completely uncensored sprites. None of the sprite work is censored like it is in the Super Nintendo version or the GBA version. It's epic. This brings up a problem I have with FF6, in that, like, the enemy sprites are so much more detailed than the character sprites. So you've got this serious moment of the two disciples confronting each other over the murder of the master. And Vargas is super detailed, and Sabin is just super deformed. And it's supposed to be true. It's supposed to be like, really serious moment, and it's just really silly. On the other hand, Sabin can emote. How you doing, T? Yeah, of our own styles that we won't change. Yours is filled with evil and mine's not. There is no way I can lose. Perfect time for that. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, that's the wrong button. I think you're playing on stream. Shut up. Try again. Yeah, it's definitely going to play it on stream now. Alright. So one thing that I do actually really like about FF6 Pixel Remaster is the way it presents stuff like blitzes. We can press a button and bring up blitz commands in the middle of battle, and I absolutely adore that. It's at the top. Press these buttons. Absolute peak quality of life feature. There's supposed to be a similar thing with Diane. This fight, I don't know. This fight always feels like it gets really close anyway. When it actually, like, by the time it tells you to use a blitz. So I don't tend to mess around with this one. But yeah. PS1 version, it has the full Super Nintendo style soundtrack. Refined localization and completely uncensored sprites, which no other version has. But it has longer load times. The GBA version has a redone translation, extra content, slightly less censored sprites than the Super Nintendo version, but it has far lower sound quality. And then there's the mobile version, which just look absolutely awful. Major releases that Europe didn't get. Honestly, I've said the main ones that I can think of off the top of my head. Yeah, the load times for the PS1 versions of the Final Fantasy games can get kind of bad. My problem, especially with 6, it's not the load times between battles, like when you go into battle, when you exit battles. I'm used to that based on growing up with 7, 8, and 9. My problem is when you press the menu button, it takes like 2 seconds for the menu to pop up, and it's every time you want to do that. Also, Sabin clearly has a beard now. Think a bear like me could be of any help. With the added facial hair now, I'm concerned that he means bear in the gay sense. And it's like, it's a weird thing to say to your brother. I'm not sure if Sabin has, like, these extra... Normal when you first get Sabin, you have Raging Fist or Pommel. You don't get Aura Cannon and Suplex or Meteor Strike until later on. So I don't know if it's because we're slightly higher level than we were expected to be, which we may not be, I don't honestly know. Or if the Pixel Remaster just gives you these first 3 to begin with. It's such a nice rendition of Terra's theme, though. Ah, Bannon. Yeah, if you want to throw out releases from the time period, though, Flame, you think are major releases, I can let you know if they were released in Europe or not. Like, at the time. As it is, like, the main ones I've mentioned, like, a lot of the Square stuff like Parasite Eve, Final Fantasy X was released later, Chrono Trigger, that stuff. We did get Secret of Mana, like, between Final Fantasy Adventure, Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, and Secret of Mana, like, we got some Square games. It's weird that we didn't get Final Fantasy until Sony published it in Europe. It's also, I always found it really weird that we didn't get Super Mario RPG. Like, that game wasn't released over here until Virtual Console. Clem, what if you sneakily, very sneakily, to avoid the copyright troubles you've been talking about yesterday, what if you replace the Careless Whisper saxophone alert that you have with this saxophone? Once, when people were pure and innocent and hadn't had sex yet, there was a box they were told never to open. It was called a woman's legs. But then they did, and evil befell the world. Was this always a Pandora's box thing? Yeah, absolutely no. Like, some of the rearranged parts of this soundtrack are like, I mentioned the excessive use of brass in the battle theme. The trumpet in the regular battle theme hits probably too hard. But like, a lot of the other stuff has been really good. It's saxophone, the woodwind instruments for Terra's theme on the world map, the guitar in Decisive Battle, like, there's just really good stuff in here. Is Gundam Evolution that one that Teak played? Oh yeah, like, rearrangements of an already fantastic soundtrack. Yeah, alright. So, Gundam Overwatch. Teak, what are you doing in Klim's room? You know, I'm gonna hit you with a question here, and it is actually based on my own dislike of Battle Pass ideas and the seasons and the roadmaps and all this nonsense that is modern multiplayer stuff. But is any game actually worth Battle Pass bullshit? Missing cool Gundams as well, which they can add in later as DLC. Probably not. There we go. It's like I played Overwatch somewhat back in the day. And now that I'm back on PC, I could have probably been convinced to play more Overwatch. Because I bought it on PC. I never bought it on console, I had it on PC, and I played it with some friends back in the day. And it's fun enough, and I probably could have been talked into playing Overwatch with some people that we know who play it. Like, I know Ali plays it. We've got other people who do. Teak's played it quite a bit. I could have been talked into playing Overwatch more. And then they stopped it and brought out Overwatch 2, which is Overwatch with battle passes. And it's like, no. I'm good, thank you, and goodbye. Giant, let's sell this to people, yeah. Freedom is almost within our grasp. No, it isn't. Freedom is so far from our grasp right now. Like, it's not even funny. Yeah, knife. I trust my brother completely, even though it's been 10 years since we've seen each other. This beard on Sabin looks so weird. The Empire is stuffing out returns whenever they find them. Well, that other guy said we were so close to freedom. See, that's a good line that I like. can't tell you what to do, and if we force you to, we're no better than the Empire. And I'm willing to die on this hill. Like, it's a good line. There we go. You mean the font? Yeah, like, look at it, it's much nicer. So yeah, if you say no to Bannon, I forget if it's once or twice, you can go to talk to that other guy, and he'll give you a Genji glove, which is really nice. Never give up hope. Never surrender your dreams. Using Magitech's power wage war. Where did they get that power? The War of the Magi. My grandmother used to tell me stories about magical machines. It's hard to believe that it's true when I've personally fought them. Like, what do you think Magitech armor was? What do you think they were firing at you? Let's have a chat with an Esper. Okay. What was that? That noise just now. It's somebody coming in the door. It's really embarrassing that you didn't have anybody watching the door. Figaro looked at Leo with hunger in his eyes, then shook his head and sadly said, "No, no, I'd rather die." Someone has to sneak into South Figaro and slow down the enemy somehow. Yeah, are you not noticing the font, Teak? We can take the river. Dilly dally, shilly shally. Just white confirmation. Yeah, it looks way better this way. It's weird as well, because I said it earlier. Like, there's specific points where they've clearly put effort into the presentation of this. Like, look how smooth the animation on the waterfalls is. And then there are other areas where it's just like, yeah, threw together whatever we have. A lot of the time I avoid using Aura Bolt, specifically because the game can be really picky about properly... Oh, shit. The game can be really picky about properly registering diagonals, but actually having visual confirmation of it is really nice. Also, autosaves for bullshit like that. I'm also getting a little ahead of myself in using Blitz. Like, it's in every other version, you press Blitz, and then you press the command, and then you press A again. And that's what I'm doing, but in this, it's just like, pick which one you want to do. And then put the command in. It's catching me off guard a little bit. I feel like Ultros is going to be a nightmare again. Oh, darkness isn't the sunglasses anymore? That's nonsense. Quick saving, do your JoJo thing. Oh, yeah, boy. I swear, we'll get to like the final part of this playthrough, and I'll still be calling Raging Fist Pummel. I miss just playing RPGs. Yeah, we're all close enough to max. Oh, just... Alright. I think we're probably gonna call it here. I'm glad we've started this. It's one of those things that doing stuff like this reminds me of why I had to focus on RPGs for the stream to begin with. Because I just enjoy playing these games. They're so much fun. We'll be back with more of this tomorrow, like I say. My goal is to stream this game every day. And the goal for that is to finish it before the 1st of May. Like, we'll stream tomorrow and we'll go probably longer. We'll be back later tonight though with something, a little surprise stream gonna be working out. Hopefully you guys will enjoy that. It should be fun. But in the meantime, I want to thank everybody for joining the stream. I always really appreciate the support. Big special thank you to everybody in the chat. Chat is always the best part of the stream. Clem, Flame, Teak, Lino, Nightlight. Has there been anybody else? I don't think so. If there was, though, if you were in chat and I forgot to mention you by name, I do apologise, but you were very much appreciated. Thank you so much for joining me. That was always the best part of the stream. This will continue tomorrow, probably tomorrow afternoon. Where hopefully we'll go longer and have some more fun with it. Like I say, back tonight again with something different. Something different, something a lot more fun. But, in the meantime, thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic time of day. And take care. We'll catch you next time, guys. Bye.